It's a busy news cycle today on Breakfast Television, so we're checking in for the first time this morning on entertainment with, of course, Devo Brown. Good morning, Devo.
Morning. I remember last week we showed you the side-by-side photos of Billy Zane as Marlon Brando for Waltzing with Brando. Now we have a trailer, right? So give you a little bit of background on what this film is going to do. We always talk about little time periods in someone's life. So this is going to go from 1969 to 1974 while Marlon Brando was preparing. There's the side-by-side of that. It is unbelievable, to be honest with you. Preparing for the Godfather film, which you're kind of seeing there, Last Tango in Paris as well. But it's
following... the right is Billy Zane?
The right is Billy Zane, yes.
And the left is, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, is that good? Yeah.
That's why I'm like, wait a minute, I got to look at it again.
Right.
But there it is, yeah. So the film's going to be an adaptation of Bernard Judge's memoir from 2011. So Bernard Judge was an architect who Marlon Brando just kind of sought out to help him build that sustainable home in Tahiti.
Yeah, because he was a sort of leading, almost clairvoyant in sustainability at a time where people weren't having those conversations.
And this is back in the late 60s, early 70s when he was doing that. He was an award-winning architect that brought out. So Bernard Judge is being played by John Heder, who we know from Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh. Okay.
Right? So it's a different role for him.
Yeah.
So we'll take a look at the trailer here and discuss a little more right after.
I own an island nearby. It's more beautiful than words can describe, and cinematography can capture, and I want to move there.
An island with no potable water.
I'm working on a process to bring clean, drinkable water to the island, made from my own urine.
Or food source, or electricity.
Eels.
Eels.
Electric eels. Put the eels in the lagoon to siphon off their energy, power our generators.
To live out there with even a moderate amount of modern convenience would be a monumental undertaking.
Bernie can build it.
Bernie can build it. He's like, wait a minute.
Okay, so this is not at all what I thought it would be, and I actually love this even more. Like, it's a different perspective than I thought. It's not that traditional biopic.
Yeah, it's not going to be focusing on the acting aspect of it, right? It's just more of his life and kind of his vision of what he was trying to do outside of that.
Yeah.
But during that time period where it was the busiest time in his career and some of his biggest films. So very cool. We know that it's going to premiere at the Torino Film Festival in Italy later this month, but no release date on it as of yet. Marlon Brando, of course, was 80 when he passed away back in 2004. Yeah. It was Canada Day 2004 when he had passed away. Other people that are in this: Richard Dreyfuss, Tia Carrera, and Mick Jagger's son James Jagger is going to be a part of this as well.
Okay, cast.
There you go.
Well done. That looks great.
Yeah, it does.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I like that. It looks really cool.
Yeah, I love that. A little bit of a different take on it. 8:53 on your Wednesday. Thanks for waking up with BT. Time now for entertainment. So we say hello to Devo Brown.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Glass Tiger, come on.
Right? I know.
I remember being a kid.
They're like, I mean it when I say that. They are, they're the best going right now.
Yeah.
And 40 years, not a lot of bands get to that number.
It's amazing.
Not still being friends, you know, so good for them. Yeah, this Island Earth is their tour.
Yes, so cool. Speaking of bands, she was part of a big band.
She sure was.
Everyone wanted the reunion and many reunions of Spice Girls. I'm talking about Posh Spice, Victoria Beckham. She turned 50 back in April, and she said that was the age where she's like, I don't give a anymore about anything. This is an interview with Harper's Bazaar UK magazine. She got candid about it and just said life has changed. She said, you know, look, even though her and her husband, David Beckham, they lived pretty public lives over the years, they've become more discreet. They've been married since 1999. She said she's gotten more nonchalant about the world around her thinks about her. So it's gotten to the point where I'm not worried about what everyone else thinks. She says, when asked about what's paying attention to what's written about her, this is what she said, quote, I've been doing this for too long. I did when I was growing up, but nowadays, there's just too much going on. Too busy, too many kids to worry about. I woke up at 50 and I gave a lot less stuff about it. They've got 3 sons, of course, Brooklyn, Romeo, and Cruz, a daughter, Harper. And she also, in this interview, talked about a fashion-focused docu-series that's apparently going to be coming to Netflix that she's already started filming. So it's been following her around in Paris, LA, New York, and all
about her line. She is the designer.
Stuff.
Okay. Because I mean, look, I know she was a Spice Girl, but what a career she has had post being in that band.
Yes.
I mean, highly successful in the fashion world, and not just sort of as a celeb fashion designer, but I mean a premier house of fashion. So it's incredible for her. I don't know, when it comes to that, I think I give her such props for saying those things out loud, because we need to hear from women in that way who have reached a certain spot in life and feel like, okay, I'm good, because then that just encourages all of us to feel that way, women and men.
I agree, and I like to think, and I'm not going to put this on her, because when we see her, she looks perfect all the time when she's out. And I don't mean just like the way she looks. I mean like the mannerisms. Everything just seems always put together. I like to think, you know, when I turn 40, I'm like, man, I don't care what anyone thinks of me. But in the back of my mind, you still have it. So it's nice to be able to say, do you think she actually feels it all the time?
I think, honestly, Devo, I think it's like a muscle. I think you build it. And so in those moments where you would say no to something because of your insecurity, because what you think other people are thinking of you or all that stuff, you get a little bit stronger in that moment and you do it anyway. You show up anyway. And I think that grows that feeling. But I'm like you. I think it's a journey. I think if you're being really honest about it, no one is ever Teflon to that.
No, you can't.
We're human. We care at the end of the day.
I think my defining moment now is when we take a picture and they're like, do you want to see it? And I'm like, no, I'm good.
No.
Because I honestly don't care what I look like in pictures anymore.
Yeah, that's
I've gotten to the point, and it's freeing.
Yeah, oh yeah. You got to let that go. Yeah, because if you start looking at it, we're not gonna like it.
We're not perfect. It's all good.
Perfect, and that's good. Yeah, great discussion. Thank you for bringing that to entertainment here this morning on BT. And 9:22 on your Wednesday morning. Thanks for waking up with BT. Time for entertainment. And Devo, I'm always glad you're here, but especially on this story because I've seen some visuals, but I don't totally understand it. I like what I'm seeing.
No one understands this.
But what is Beyonce?
But sometimes when it comes to Beyonce, don't worry about understanding it. Just enjoy it.
Just receive it.
So video comes out yesterday, and everyone's like, oh, it's the new video for Bodyguard, where she channels Pamela Anderson, a Canadian icon right there. Baywatch and then Baywatch. You know what I'm saying? But also, they're like, wait, that was her Halloween costume.
Right.
That's what she did for Halloween. And then at the end of this video, there's a thing going out to vote. So was it Halloween? Was it to vote? Or is it a new video for
the movie?
A song off the album that we have not...
That we don't know if it exists.
And we haven't had a music video from her a long time.
It's Beyonce's world, and we're just living in it. But anytime anything happens with her, we want to talk about it.
Yeah, so for Bodyguard, the track here is visuals, we'll call it, from Beyonce. And then there you go. So she also put on the message, Happy Halloween, and then vote. I'm confused. This is off the Cowboy Carter album, by the way, Bodyguard.
Yeah.
And it's the first time we're getting any kind of visuals for a song off of that besides what we saw for This Ain't Texas.
Yeah, and it's interesting, too, because, I mean, Pamela Anderson has moved so far away from
Baywatch
those iconic barbed wire. I mean, that part of her history, and she's been in the press a lot lately, thank goodness, for the incredible work that she's doing, and for the decision to go, you know, makeup-free and just as herself, and she's getting a lot of love for that. So it is interesting that this is the timing to do that throwback.
But then Pamela Anderson, Canadian.
Yes.
Let's talk about U.S. vote. You know what I mean? Like, and so everybody was so. I'm like,
Have we heard from Pam? I feel like did we hear from Pamela on her reaction to it?
I don't know if we have.
I feel like I saw some of that. Anyway, but I think she would love it.
Yeah, I was confused, but I just tried to enjoy it for what it was and what it is. I feel like Beyonce got dressed up for Halloween as Pam and was like, hey, you know what we should do?
Let's do something.
Let's do some more videos. Yeah.
But you know what it makes me want to do? Go listen to that album again, front to back, because I loved that track on that album. And I haven't heard it in a little bit, so that's what I'm going to do today. Thank you, Beyonce, for the reminder. I'm not going to dress up like that.
No?
No.
You could.
I mean, thanks, Steve-O. I don't know. We'll see.
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
On Wednesdays, we
post-election Wednesday.
wear Pamela Anderson outfits.
No,
pink.
I don't know what we want.
One of those things. On Friday, just a couple days away from an
from one Canadian star to another.
Exclusive interview. Cheryl Hickey sat down with Shania Twain, the Canadian legend, who, of course, is the newest judge on Canada's Got Talent. She's going to talk about her proudest moment and what she's grateful for in her career and so much more. There she is with Sapphire.
And we know her puppy's name now.
Sapphire.
Look at Sapphire.
Is just enjoying all of the conversation as it happens. That exclusive interview for you happening Friday right here on BT.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear that chat between those two. And Cheryl Hickey will join us on Friday. That's like the best hair in the biz right there between those two.
Yeah.
And Sapphire, they got it covered.
Got it all covered.
Hey,